Hello people, I want to show you my little toolkit that I use for various things. It sits here on my desk most of the time. It has most handy bits, but it's a supplementary, not a full solution obviously. But for something you can carry in your pocket, it's pretty good. Let's start off with what's on the outside. Let's talk about the case. This is just a cheap hard drive carry case. They're like $4 on eBay. Didn't come with this little net. I put that on myself. You can probably see the horrible sewing job. This is just hand cream if you've got dry hands from doing work. It's nice. On this keychain there's a little solitaire light. Pretty bright, as you can see. Let's take this off. Everything's stuck. Keep in mind there's a high bright light shining on this also. You can see it pretty well. Solar powered, so I don't have to worry about charging it. Of course there's a mini Sharpie on the keychain, good for writing. Okay, there's nothing on the other side. There's your little chain attachment. Just your standard 2 zipper array. Just mind you, this is hard, not hard plastic, but it gives itself shape and protection. We have some loose floating components. This is the insides. Notice nothing except for that pulls out when you're holding it. Everything's pretty much strapped in. Okay, I'll start with, this seems to be the biggest. This is just sort of your standard little hex type multi-tool bits. There's tons of them in there. As you can see, there's 2 layers of the hex bits, and there's also some of these little bolt drivers, various shapes and sizes. There's little security bolts, security drivers in there, all different shapes and sizes. So that's for this tool piece. You can either just directly use that on there. You can use that by hand, but there is a little key piece which goes in there which has gone missing, so you have to bear with me on that. So let's open this up. This is just it's the same as a matchbox, except for it's a staple box or whatever. Just a little roll of sticky tape. I don't know why people call these Ranger bands. They're just the inner tube of a bicycle tire, just cut up. That's what mine is. The box. In here is a few things. Some rings, super glue, because you know super glue is quite useful. Unopened, don't want to use that unless it's an emergency. This goes with a scalpel handle which is embedded in the spine here. I'll show you that later on. Razor blade in its sheath, and just some nice tiny bit of wire. Get this out. 2 little stormproof matches. Here is just some metal wire for either scraping stuff off, cleaning things, but also mainly for the soldering tip of a butane soldering iron I have in here. These little pieces are little leg clippers for a multimeter, which I don't carry a multimeter in this obviously, but for the multimeter, something like this. These are little vice clamps, 2 of them, pretty cheap and nasty, but hey, if you need to clamp something down, they do the job. There is tons of stuff underneath here. Yes, this little hidden person. This is just some spare cable with some heat shrink wrapped around it. As you can see, there's 2 little prongs on the end of the cable, just in case I need to use that. As you can tell, I do a lot of electrical work, more so than mechanical, so this is sort of tailored towards that. Zip ties. Yes, here's more zip ties in the spine. Just some spare wire. These are reusable zip ties in a sense. Just thread it through that little loop. Clip it there. It's not coming undone. If you want to redo it, undo it. So they go in the same category. This is just a half a saw blade. Good for cutting something. I don't have a handle for it, I don't need it, because it's ergonomic to hold as it is, it's big. Little jeweler's file. This can be used for sharpening bits on tools, like for instance this little tiny micro screwdriver, which I'll talk to you more about later, or knife blade or whatever. Here's a little tiny saw blade. It's just a paddle pop stick, you know, for swabbing things or cleaning things, moving things. Lots of uses for that. Good old length of wire, thick wire. Use it for holding up things or whatever, poking things. These are just your little bag ties. Another zip tie, just black. Now, let's see if we can get this out. Paper, yes. There is a scalpel razor blade. It's a bit of paper to hold stuff, that's junk. Fine grit sandpaper. Heavy grit sandpaper. Now this case didn't really come with any of these straps. I just got some elastic myself and sewed it in. And this is a little bit of just a vinyl backing that I didn't sew this, I just glued this in. So that holds all these little bits, flat bits. Okay, let's go talk about this. This is jam-packed with goodies. There's a magnet in here, and that magnet freaking sticks everything. Paper clips, obviously, and not paper clips, safety clips. But there we go. It all comes out in one big bunch because of that little magnet. Paper clips, a few of them. Bigger safety pin. More paper clips. That match. This is actually 2 magnets, just in case you need them for whatever. Oh, these are just some pins, 2 pins actually, and some tape for safety. Let's forget about that. This case, by the way, is just a razor blade holding case. Here's 2 types of razor blades. This is like a chipping blade, good for scraping things off. That's a little cutting blade. Some more matches. And some more pins and paper clips. Oh. Wonderful magnets. Here's another paper clip sitting in the spine. let's show you what's stored in the spine. There is a pair of tweezers with a little sheath because that's very pointy. Little needle nose grip. And you've got a flat grip there if you need it. Keep in mind, most of this stuff was just hanging around. I've had to buy very few things. Had to buy these. That's just from the shed. Yeah, not much, just brought. Oh my gosh. Damn magnet. I'm storing that over here. A little adjustable wrench. Good pair of snippers. Just a little multi-tool. Main reason I have this is for pliers. Spring loaded, so I don't have to worry about reversing it. The knife isn't anything fancy on this, and none of the other tools are really worth mentioning except for this one. It's a good what do you call it? A wedge, not wedge, pry bar type thing, or for scraping. It's more of the spine. It's just a really fine jeweler's flathead screwdriver. That's good for prying those real fine little plastic lips apart or taking things out of your fingernails. This is that other bit I was talking to you about, the scalpel holder. Just take one of the blades, put it in, tighten it up, and you've got yourself a really nice cutting blade. And once again, so soldering iron bit. Underneath here is a bunch of things. Little lighter. This is not a flint lighter. It's a piezoelectric, so no fuss. But if one like this, just turn it on. Easy to use. Stop rolling. This is a microfiber wipe for optics, things like that. The ruler. Oh, there's not much room here. Yeah. Band-aids. Earplugs. This is a mask to keep the shit out of your face if you're doing something, especially with the solder. Some wipes. A bit of matches just in case you run out. A sponge. Little Frenzel magnifying glass. And here is just some spare plastic and card for multi-pool purposes. And that's it. Thanks for watching.